Good afternoon, everyone. I am sorry for the technical difficulties in the beginning. I am Valerie Anderson and your anchor and host for today's press conference. I am also the executive assistant for Dr. Surjit Khanna of the Returning Youth Initiative. I would like to start off by thanking Commissioner Harvey and his team for arranging to host this conference, which is officially being held at the Bucks County Administration Building at 55 East Court Street in Doylestown, Pennsylvania. We have participants physically gathered at the conference room and others have joined via Zoom. On behalf of the initiative and Dr. Surjit Khanna, I would like to thank everyone who joined here to discuss the implementation solutions to avoid youth disconnection. Let me introduce the members of the National Board of Directors for the initiative: Clem Yaboa, Mike Eisman, and Rafael Alvarez. Further, let me introduce the panel members: Chuck Schuyler from Montana, who is the Regional Director of the Rocky Mountain region for the initiative; Charles Chuck Hughes from the Chamber of Commerce in Gary, Indiana, and the Regional Director of Midwest region of the initiative; Dr. Umar Farouk from Knights Medical Associates in Pennsylvania, and also the National Medical Director for the initiative; Paul Nelson, a pastor from A New Beginning in Christ Temple in Tobyhanna, Pennsylvania, as well as our Pennsylvania State Director; Michael Baldwin, an athletic director of East Orange, New Jersey Campus High School and an ambassador for the initiative in New Jersey. Lastly, Ariana Ramsey, a junior from Dartmouth and Ivy League College in New Hampshire. She is the initiative's youth ambassador and a 2021 Summer Olympian. Now, I will introduce the participants we have today: Carrie Anderson, the Montana State Manager; Octavio Ramaria, a Latinx ambassador in Pennsylvania; Darshan Khanna, the Bucks County Manager in Pennsylvania; Michael Cardassia, the Florida State Manager; Willie Saunders, the Monroe County Manager in Pennsylvania; Priya Saini, the County Manager for DuPage County in Illinois; Laval Bell, an Ambassador for Los Angeles, California; Jesse Levine, the Ambassador for Montgomery County in Pennsylvania; Robert Tanko, the State Manager for Texas and Nevada; Robert Schratz from Chase Bank, and John Marks from Windsor Trucking Company, New Jersey, and the Board of Directors of Voice of the Kids, New York. Since everyone's here ready to begin the conference, let me highlight the purpose and outcome of today's conference, which is from youth disconnection to opening doors. There are far too many disconnected youth in America today. Disconnected youth are teenagers and young adults between the ages of 16 and 24 who are neither working nor in school. There are over 4 million disconnected youth in America today. If you think further, that's about 1 in every 9 teens falling behind in the transition into adulthood. They are not equipped with the knowledge of basic life skills, maturity, or a sense of purpose. The pandemic made the youth disconnection rate spike in just a matter of months. So how can we prevent this from continuing to get worse? Well, it is our good fortune to have Dr. Surjit Khanna, the founder of the Returning Youth Initiative, which is a 501c3 nonprofit organization focused on reintegrating post-incarcerated as well as high-risk young adults into their community and guiding them to pursuing a productive life. Dr. Khanna is a child safety advocate, the voice of the voiceless, and a servant to the underserved. He is determined to take this initiative to all 3,142 counties across the nation in order to give every young adult an opportunity to have a successful career and life. Also today, he will be moderating this conference by asking questions to our panel members. But before I hand over the conference to him, I would like to let Mr. Chuck Hughes, the president of Chamber of Commerce in Gary, Indiana, to say a few words. Welcome, Chuck Hughes.
And Valerie, thank you so much for the opportunity. And welcome.
You have to unmute. Sorry, sir. I asked you to.
Am I still muted?
Mr. Hughes, if you see, I'm requesting you to unmute yourself.
Okay. Am I good? I should be unmuted. Am I good?
Yes, sir, sorry.
Okay. Well, listen, I've been trying to temper my enthusiasm. I am so happy to be a part of this conference. I really want to thank you, Valerie, for introducing me, but I also want to thank Dr. Connor. Dr. Connor, you have definitely assumed the mantle of the people's champ. I am just excited that you've chosen to include our people as part of the people who you serve. So here in Gary, Indiana, I am delighted to be a part of this. I can't wait for the initiative to get going. And also I can't wait to learn and hear from all of these experts, your board, your panel, and everybody else who's connected with this, because here in Gary, Indiana, we have a need as great as any of the 3,142 counties that you will engage. So it is a pleasure for me to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Hughes, for your kind words. Dr. Khanna, may you elaborate on the Returning Youth Initiative and then begin to engage with the panel members?
Thank you very much. Thank you, Valley. Thank you, everybody, those who have come today attending this. And thank you for the entire audience, those who are listening to this YouTube, reviewing this nationwide. I have no words to thank each and every citizen of this country to give me an opportunity to serve them. Serving is something that gives a lot of pleasure, just like how a teacher loves to teach. And here, when I see myself, I'm just insignificant in front of all of you, those who are on the screen and those who are with me. You are all the great servant here. And if we all join together, like Mr. Hughes said, we can go to 3,142 counties in United States. That many counties are there. So this initiative, the foundation of this initiative is based on serving these individuals, those who are underserved. And let me define underserved. Underserved does not bring any color, any race, or any religion. Underserved means very simple. Those who are not served properly. That means they're not heard even properly. They're not even given opportunities to thrive in their career and their life. That is all about this Returning Youth Initiative. We are here for the voice of the voiceless, especially for the young adults between the age of 18 and 30. We concentrate on these young adults because the youths are the foundation of this country. We, as a team here, we have been going around this country and establishing this initiative. The goal is to establish in 6 regions. The entire country is divided into 6 regions, and we have been successful with the help of all of you to go to each of these regions. And we started offices in different regions already. Montana is the showcase for this initiative. Then we have Tobyhanna, Pennsylvania. We are just about to start in Gary, Indiana. We started already in Florida with the help of Michael Cardassia, and list go on. So the day will come when the list will itself take more than an hour, because you're talking about 3,142 counties. And I really want to thank all of you for coming today and participating in this most wonderful conference naming Youth Disconnection. How these youths are disconnected and how can we connect them back. Thank you, Valley. Valley, I'm waiting for you.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Khanna, for elaborating. Can we begin the discussion with the panel members? Are you going to ask those questions?
Oh, thank you very much. I really want to thank all the panel members, those who have joined here today. I think the first question goes to Mr. Chuck Schuler from Montana. How are you doing, Mr. Schuler, today?
Well, I'm doing good, everyone, and Dr. Khanna, thank you, Valley. And everybody here. You're in a much bigger population state area than I am. Maybe Montana is selected to be the initial because we can focus on specific cases here. But I would say that Dr. Khanna and your voices are voices that we just don't hear at as much as needs to be. In fact, I have not heard what Dr. Khanna's message is really for a long time. I had a dear friend who was a probation officer for 45 years for the youth, and i.e. a youth probation officer here in the courts. And he was a dynamo in the area. Dr. Khanna is the first one that I've heard since then who really has this emphasis. And thank God for what's going on here. This is one right thing our nation is doing. I would hope that we could be a showcase, but quite frankly, I'm looking to all of you for support throughout the nation.
No, thank you very much, Mr. Schuler, for joining in today. And also, you've been working with the Montana group for a while. So what do you think this returning youth initiative can help lowering the number of young adults being disconnected?
Well, it's a huge challenge. We've got the pressures that you were referencing. We've got the increased domestic and foreign conflict, everywhere. We have the pandemic impact, high family stress rates, increasing costs for higher education, increasing question whether or not higher education is really useful throughout the United States in getting a job in the first place. In Montana, we seem to have a lot of liberal arts graduates here, but they struggle to get a job. So when a kid's getting out, he's looking at to buy a home, $300,000 average home. The cost of starting a family is prohibitive. Then you better have a good juvenile record. And if you don't, you're really in trouble that way, unless you can. Now, the juvenile record here in Montana is protected for the most part from disclosure. It's confidential. So you have a clean slate when you're 18 and an adult. So that's huge. But yet, if you've got that history, you either learn from it or don't. this is where Dr. Kana and you folks come in. I'm hoping to be a part of that. I'm so glad to be a part of it.
Thank you very much. So you see that Montana definitely needs the help to connect all the youths, correct?
Absolutely. I mean, this is a voice that we just haven't heard for years here. And when the minute I heard it, I just felt right in my heart, as I'm sure
Well,
you
thank
did
you.
too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And what is your vision to take, because you are the regional Rocky Mountain region, so there are some other states next to you, like Wyoming and other ones, Idaho. Do you think they also need some type of help?
Well, it does follow logically, and also if you think about it, it's the only way. What you've said is that the youth are the foundation. Well, I think that's upside down with a lot of folks that aren't thinking about it. And to put it front and center, that's what we need to do. And that's what we're doing right now. We're talking about youth. We're all youth at one time, right? And
Yeah.
we know how important it is to have the positive experiences that can really guide you later on. Why one word, one act, anything can make a huge difference in your life. It's all important.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Scholl. I think, yes, youth are the foundation of this country, or not only the country, the whole world. And we all were youth one day, and we all transit to the adulthood. So the disconnection is because the youths are being forced to do what the society wants them to do, not what they want to do. So that's the whole purpose of today's struggle, is that we don't listen to the youth. We all give them a list that, okay, youth, you follow this. That's all we ask them to do. But that's not what the youth wants. The youth wants something different. So I really want to thank Charles Suller for joining us today in this panel discussion. And my next question, I'm going to turn around because the person is here in the studio, here in the conference room. Pastor Paul. His name is Paul Nelson. He's the pastor of one of the church where we started our second safe haven. How am I going to do that? Pastor Paul.
Yes, sir.
How are you doing today?
I'm well, thank you.
Excellent. I know you've been working with this youth for a long time, and I really appreciate that what you do in your church, how you connect all these youths to different types of programs. Could you elaborate a little bit about when this initiative went to Tobyhanna, Stroudsburg, in that Monroe area? How did you take it? What is your plan? What is your vision for this?
Thank you, Valley. Thank you for the opportunity to address this fine group of people and the opportunity to share my vision. I feel as a pastor, I will always approach everything on a spiritual level. And I felt led to Tobyhanna because Tobyhanna is one of those places that people tend to overlook. There's a story in the Bible really quickly about the Good Samaritan. And the reason why Jesus emphasized Good Samaritan is because at the time, the Samaritans were looked at as nobody. They were second-class citizens, and they were overlooked. There's another parallel story where Jesus had to go on a journey, and usually they would bypass Samaria. They would cross the Jordan River twice, so they would avoid Samaria, because the people that lived in Samaria was the undesirable. Where I live in Pennsylvania, Tobyhanna is a place where a lot of quote unquote undesirables live. God was so gracious to give us a property in Tobyhanna, and it was a former Catholic church. It was a huge property with 3 buildings on it, and I didn't know what God was doing at the time, Dr. Connor, but if God say go, I just go. So we acquired this property, and I wasn't sure what we were going to do. The only thing I asked God is, please help me to reach the youth that nobody wants in Tobyhanna. We acquired the building, and before I knew it, Dr. Connor came into my life with the youth initiative. I say, thank you, Lord. And we've never separated since. And there is a need. This neighborhood in Tobyhanna, every news article about shooting, drugs, you name it, it happens there. And God was so gracious to place us right in the middle of it. These same young people that were shooting and hanging out and selling drugs, they're calling me now, Dr. Connor. Hey, I want to be a part of what you're doing. We did this in Brooklyn, New York. And what I'm trying to say is nobody is a throwaway. I don't care what they did, how many times they did it, what they look like. If somebody shows them that they care, you will see a difference in those people. So thank you for caring. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. And thank you for this initiative, because I wasn't sure how to approach it, but you came along with a structured program that works. And I want to be a witness to let you know it works. And we're starting to see the fruits of this program in Tobyhanna. And in a nutshell, I think this can be done everywhere in this country.
Very much, Paul Nelson. I really liked your enthusiasm about this youth, and nevertheless, you don't look anybody less than a youth. So you have that energy. Doesn't matter what the physics says, but energy is something. And you are taking to the community that needs this. Monroe County, if you all don't know, is one of the high-risk county in Pennsylvania where you see a lot of crimes and a lot of things happens there. Okay, so if we can bring all these youths together to a place, that's what is needed. We need to attract this youth to come to a place and make a difference. These youths have all the talents, but the talents are not explored properly because they are shut up. We say, shut up, listen to us. We adults, we don't allow them to talk. We don't allow them to share their views. We don't listen to them. All we do is we tell them, give them directions. Well, it's good to give directions with boundaries and leave them alone within that boundaries so that they can do miracles. And this is why this particular press conference is so vital, because I want to let the youth know, those who are listening or will be listening, that we are here for you. We are here. All these people, those who listen, are in this screen today, we are here to listen to you. So you can count ×2, because everybody has 2 years at least. ×2, that many years, we are here to listen to you. We are here to give you the opportunity to take you to your dream, to success, to make your success. Success is the key. We are here to make everybody successful. And I really want to thank Pastor Paul for giving this wonderful opportunity in Monroe County and taking this initiative and leading in Pennsylvania. My next person is Mr. Michael Baldwin, all the way from New Jersey, East Orange, New Jersey. And if you don't know, he is the athlete director of East Orange School District. Well, he is the youth here among all of us, because he told me when I met him, you told me that you are just celebrating your 19th birthday or something like that, or maybe I'm off track.
Way
But-
off, Doc. I wish. Way off. Way off. 52nd birthday.
52nd birthday. Okay, so we can flip it. It is 25. So you are still youth.
I'll take
Okay.
that.
So I know you've been dealing with all these kids, all these challenges, and you've been, you know, in the place. East Orange is a place where, you know, a lot of good stuff happens and a lot of wild stuff happens too, you know, and you've been with them. So what do you think as leaders of, you know, people see you as a families, as in churches and clinics, how can we make a difference to prepare these teenagers so that they can become when they become a young adults and then live a successful life? What is your take on this?
First, again, thank you, Dr. Khanna, and the whole panel. I really appreciate this opportunity. You know, my motto is send the elevator back down. So what you said is absolutely true. You need to go back into the community and reach out and bring these young men and women into the fold. You know, allow them to grow, nurture them, make choices, valuable choices, important choices. You know, it's really rough. Like, I've been doing this now for the past 26 years. And I've seen a lot of kids come and go. Unfortunately, I've seen a lot of kids not make it who are physically not with us today. And one that I think the key elements is someone failed to make that connection with them. You know, we all say that we're here for the kids, but the only way that you can truly be here for the kids is if you get out and do the grassroots works that you're doing and really touch them. Students, you know, they come with a variety of issues, particularly now during this pandemic. The social emotional concerns they're really true. I mean, kids that I have now who are juniors are technically freshmen because they've been out of school for the past 2 years. So they're coming to us with issues that we unfortunately haven't addressed. So they may be juniors, and you may look at them as being mature, but really they're freshmen because they never got an opportunity to socialize throughout those 3 years. Our seniors are technically sophomores. So, you know, getting into the community, touching these kids physically, you know, letting them know that we're here for you, giving them an opportunity to grow and flourish is important. And that's whatever it is that they may be into. I'm the sports athletic director, as well as the department chair for phys ed and health. However, you have some kids who may not be into sports, that may be into auto mechanics, maybe into computers, maybe into law, whatever it is that they're into, that's what you need to hone in on. And I think that's where we're missing it as a society. And it's not just the Northeast, this is across the nation. And it's just having a trickle down effect, unfortunately.
Thank you very much, Mr. Baldwin, for sharing their thoughts. And you are right that all the students, all the kids, they're kids, you know, and they have the full energy and the knowledge to multiply. It's just like, you know, a small algae, you know, they grow, multiply exponentially, not 1 + 1 + 1. No, 1 + 1 is 2, then 2 + 2, then 2, you know, like that. Exponentially, they have the energy. So we got to utilize them properly, you know, and I really want to thank you because you're doing a wonderful job in Baldwin area, in East Orange area. And please tell the youth, give them the hope. The purpose of this particular program is to give them the hope that we have the solution. We have already identified the problem. The problem is there is 4.1 million young adults are disconnected. Okay, fine. What is the solution? We all are talking about the problems. Everybody comes with the problems. Where is the solution? So this panel is talking about providing solution. How can we provide solution? You have been an athlete director. When people come with sports, different type of sports, they're not coming as a perfect sportsman, but they go for training. Okay, then they become perfectionist. but they got to go for the training. During the training period, they fall, they get hurt, they go to different type of things, challenges happens.
Yes.
By talking of that, and I really appreciate you joining in today and kind of representing I feel that you are representing the youth from the East Orange and New Jersey because you're the athletic director. You know everything what is going on. Being your athletic director, I would like to show you another youth, who is in the panel today, is Ariana Ramsey, who is from Pennsylvania, Philadelphia actually, and she is a tougher athlete. She went to Summer Olympics as a women rugby, okay? Ramsey got hurt many times with her shoulders. Still, she is a fighter. She went to Tokyo over the summer. She is a fighter. So, and plus, look at the academic thing. She's in Ivy League. It's not that, she's just a good athlete, but she's a good student. She's the youth here, and she has been working in this initiative for over a year now. She's the youth ambassador. She takes this message to all the youth. If she can do it, then everybody can do it. She's the inspiration here. Welcome, Ariana Ramsey today. And also, today is her birthday. She told me not to disclose her age, but she can tell herself what is her age today. But it is her birthday today, and the youth's birthday we are celebrating nationwide. Everybody is listening to you, and I would like to tell you happy birthday. Mr. Ramsey, Ms. Ramsey, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I've been planning for my party that's later today. So that's been pretty fun, but I'm 22, everyone. It's not a secret.
So we are invited to the party, in the evening party. She said she starts the party at 9 p.m. Well, that's the youth, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
So tell us a little bit about how you think you can motivate this youth or these young adults in this today's environment. Today is a very challenging environment going on, especially for pandemic. Before that, we had this, and now especially today is this war going on. Who knows? It might be the Third World War is going to come up very soon. In this whole thing, how would you keep your fellow youths motivated?
I guess it's different for everyone, but as far as Dartmouth, the students there, like I said, like similar to me, we're all like trying to make the world a better place, quote unquote. Like that's kind of one of if you ask anyone at Dartmouth, that's kind of their main goal. So like for the Ukraine war, we had like some type of rally where we all gathered on the green. It's just like a big green area on our campus, and we kind of just talked about what was going on, and like people were donating money. So we kind of just take action in these situations and try to make them better. As far as the pandemic, everyone kind of adjusted differently to that. Some people took the year off of school so that they can still get that social experience once we do come back. So everybody's just handling it differently. But definitely taking action is what we do, at least at Dartmouth.
Very much, Ariana, for highlighting that. I hope you can keep on motivating all the youths, all the young adults around the nation, because when you went to Tokyo, you definitely made it possible that somebody from Philadelphia, you're from West Philly, correct?
Yeah.
So somebody from West Philly, if people those who are on the screen don't know where West Philly is, please, you can find out what West Philly means. So if person from West Philly coming from a different type of, background and could make it to USA team, that's a plus point. And I really admire you for that. And please take her as a mentor for you to be a good youth, because you have a long way to go.
Thank you, Dr. Khanna.
Thank you very much for joining us today. Well, my next person I would like to ask some question because we are close to, we spoke about East Orange, which is close to Newark, East Orange. Then we went to West Philly. Now I don't think we should kind of ignore the most famous city in the United States. If people don't, if they have not heard that city's name, please Google and find out. It's called Gary, Indiana. Okay, so it's not bad Gary, Indiana. It's a good Gary, Indiana, because we have good folks like Chuck Hughes, who is the Chamber of Commerce president, plus he has been in Gary for a long time. And if you all don't know, that's where the Jackson family is also from, and a lot of other legends are from Gary, Indiana. So, and I really want to thank Mr. Hughes for giving us the opportunity to have this initiative in Gary, Indiana. We put a foundation already there. We have a office space already been leased. I heard that he already gave the check and the check has been deposited. So that means technically, legally, we have a place in Gary, Indiana, and we are trying to bring businesses, you know, and we have different ideas to bring businesses so that we can give the youth of Gary, Indiana a connection. Just like when we hear about youth disconnection, very first time when I heard, I said, wow, it's like a Wi-Fi or internet disconnection. Okay, well, youths are the Wi-Fi of our country. Okay, so we need to connect them. It depends upon whether it is a 5G or LTE, but we got to give that connection to those youths. So this is very important that we are in. I always had a dream, long time, that I want to have a space, a place in Gary, and Mr. Hughes made it possible. So the question goes to you, Mr. Hughes, like this, that I know you are excited already with all the challenges and all these things that you have been facing for last many years. When you heard of this initiative, when we started talking to you, and we've been talking to you for 9 months now, and all of a sudden, 2 weeks, no, not 2 weeks, 2 days ago, when we all as a team came there and we started, you know, digging holes, putting the flag in, and we are in. How do you feel? What do you have to say about that?
Well, thank you again for this opportunity. First of all, Gary, Indiana is a majority African-American community. There are people who talked about saving Gary for years. And Dr. Connor, you have truly emerged as the people's champ, because not only did you come in with a program and ideas and suggestions and a passion, but you also came in and established a location here. You came in and became a part of our community. You're a member of the Gary Chamber of Commerce. We haven't had people who totally engaged themselves. It's easy for people to be on the sideline. I call people, either you are a bystander or you're an upstander. Well, you happen to be an upstander. You are a champion, because not only did you come in with the initiative, but you came in with gravitas, capital, beyond the commission, the initiative. And so that means a lot, it meant a lot to me, because that's what got me engaged. And I'm excited, tremendously excited for my community. You know, we talk about engagement, and I guess the thing I want to say as well is that everybody has had some wonderful ideas. I'm just blown away by the resourceful panel that you assemble, and how collectively the resources can come together and improve all of our communities. But I think what I've heard is one of the most key elements is engaging young people. You made the point, Dr. Connor, they have been dictated to, by parents, by teachers, by everybody. And so they feel as though that they are left out of the process. People are dictating to them, but not collaborating with them. And I think that once we started talking about that, that is one of the most important elements. The other thing we need to understand too is the traditional way of doing things may not always work. I'm glad Ariana's there, so maybe she can amen some of the stuff that I'm saying, because I am speaking on behalf of youth, and then we've got a youth expert there with us at the panel. But let's think about the things that we are competing against. Kids are getting disengaged because, computers. Computers are great in the classroom, but they use them for other purposes, cell phones, rap music. Look at the things that we are competing against in terms of trying to get young people engaged. Those are formidable foes. Now, what we have to do is not necessarily disconnect all the technology, but we have to get young people to first reconnect with each other. They have to form a bond. They have to have peer groups. They have to not have peer pressure. They need to not bully each other. They need to not disparage each other. So we need to think of ways in terms of engaging them with each other. And then we fit ourselves in the process, as you say, as seasoned advisors, as supporters, as people who can supplement the efforts that they're doing. So what I see is a shared responsibility. I don't see how often people sit back and say, well, those kids are bad. They need to do this. They need to do that. Well, if they could do that for themselves, what purpose would we serve? We are important in terms of being that spiritual guidance for them, those mentors, those people who can help them navigate so that they don't have to make the same mistakes we made. So I see a lot of that as being, and then about themselves. We have to actually, kids now, they don't think they're going to live long. They think they have nothing to live for. Not all of them, but the ones that we're trying to interact with, the ones that we hope to save, and that's all of them. So we have to let them know in various ways that their life has purpose. I like to ask them a lot of times, I say, first you're born, then, and the next thing anybody says, you die. I say, no, first you're born, and then you figure out why God created you, because you have a purpose. There's a long period, hopefully, before living and dying. And so what happens is we don't want people to be born and then their mindset is that I'm going to die. We want them to be born and know that God makes no mistakes, that he created them and we're all unique. I don't have, Ariana, I don't know what your sport was. I played football and basketball, but if you ran, you probably outrun me. I'm not a pastor, so I can't elaborate very extensively on the Bible, but he created us all for our own purpose. And that's what we do. We plug in, we fit in. We need to let these kids know also that their story is important. Everybody has a story. I used to tell folks all the time when I dealt with kids, and I'll talk about a couple of the programs that I was involved in. But when I dealt with kids, there's, why are you bothering it? These kids are so bad, this, that, whatever. Often I tell them, well, you know what? Just follow them home. Follow them home.
No, thank you.
They have a story. You may find a reason as to why they act the way they act. Abused by parents, step parents.
Absolutely.
Abused by adults, berated. Listen, that's tough to deal with. And we need to let them know that their dreams count.
Thank you very much,
Because when I'm
Mr.
talking
Hughes.
to young folks, I'm telling them that you don't have to grow up and be a movie star. You don't have to be a sports star. Whatever it is you aspire to do, where your talents will take you, let your dreams be important. Your dreams do count and your voice matters. So we talked about that. Now, quickly, I do want to, I don't want to do all this talking and not offer what I suggest maybe some solutions that we might look at. I think for one thing, kids need.
Thank you, Mr. Hughes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Thank
Sorry
you very
about that.
Thank you, Mr. Hughes.
Welcome.
Sorry, we're kind of pressed in time right now, but I really appreciate your input in this, especially, the collaboration with the young adults. The collaboration with the youth is very important, and I really want to thank you for sharing that thoughts.
You're welcome.
Well, since we don't have Dr. Farooq here with us, so I would like to kind of jump off a little bit and maybe ask this similar question, which I was going to ask as a participant, but here I can kind of ask Mr. Laval, who is joining us from California, Los Angeles, California, and he's the ambassador for the initiative. Also, he's a publisher. And he actually publishes book. Only person who does is for the incarcerated, those who come out and their stories. So I really want to thank Mr. Laval for joining us here. And I have a very simple question. How do you see all these young adults, which you have been dealing, for a long time? How do you see them that they can remain motivated? And what type of solution can we offer them through this initiative when you take this initiative to California and other parts of United States?
Thank you, Dr. Connor. Can you hear me good, sir?
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of your initiative and to assemble such a great panel today. I am so infectious. Your enthusiasm is very infectious, and your foundation and your goals are very appropriate. California is a state of entertainment, as you know, particularly Beverly Hills and Hollywood and San Francisco. And what I like about your program and how I think that California and you allowing me to be a part of it as an ambassador is to help people exercise, youth in particular, exercise their natural gifts, their natural talents. And so I also like that your program or Recovering Youth Initiative can address the post-recidivism rate among our young people, as you so well expounded, that we have over 4 million youth who are not being addressed. Their goals are not being addressed. And instead of our prisons being a system of industry, right, using our youth as employees for perpetuating, the loss of their dreams, I think California and the Recovering Youth Initiative, I can see things like having our own recording studios for youth between the ages of 18 and 30, having various art programs for youth between the ages of 18 and 30, having film industries. I look forward to collaborating with Recovering Youth Initiative to elaborate on those kind of things and partnering up with you and creating those partnerships. And those things are very, very easy. Just need someone like yourself to continue motivating us. So I really appreciate that. I look for California to really be a leader in your initiative.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Laval, for highlighting that. And yes, youths are the foundation, like I keep on saying, but from today's discussion, we are getting that we are all, as this group, is focused to uplift and give opportunity to youth. And we got to see that happening. It's not about talk anymore. It is about walk, and walk. And these youths are seeing this. I want to tell all these youths today that please do not get disheartened, do not get disconnected, because your connection to the community, to the society, to the country is very, very important. So do not get yourself disconnected. We are here to connect all those things, and we will move forward. Again, I really appreciated everybody in the panel contributed wonderful thing today, and we definitely have something to take. And really want to also thank the youths, those who are here. We have Valley Anderson, who is the youth. We have Ariana Ramsey is the youth. And from the audience, I have Darshan Khanna, who is also a youth. Maybe the camera can go and show Dr. Darshan Khanna a little bit. Yes, right there. He's also from the audience. And many more, those who are listening to us. And our organization is full of youth blood. Even if we don't like youth, but we are youth. Okay? Thank you very much again.
Thank you, Dr. Khanna, for this wonderful discussion with the panel members. It clearly reflected the purpose of today's conference. But before I proceed to wrap up this press conference, I would like to give opportunity to one of the selected participants to share their views. So, Mr. Clem Yaboe, who is the chairman of the board of the Returning Youth Initiative, would you like to take just a few minutes to share your perspective on youth disconnections?
Well, I'd like to say that I'm overwhelmed with the enthusiasm that is being expressed from across the country. The notion of the youth, we see them as role models. Generation X, Y, Z, We see them as role models for their younger siblings, all the way to toddlers. So once we are recognizing this disconnect, it becomes an issue for us in the voice of the kids. That's what the voice of the kids is partnering, of course, with the Returning Youth Initiative. And we are providing a voice for this range of people because we believe that there is a tomorrow. And the older generation is not going to be in the tomorrow. So we have to hold their hands, let them do it right, let them be participants in creating a better tomorrow. So I'm really overwhelmed hearing all these things coming from across the country, and I really I'm pleased that we have partners, that people are partnering with us, and that this has still a long way to go. And that's all I can say at this time.
Thank you, Clem, for sharing today. Mike Eisman, would you mind sharing some of your thoughts on today's discussion really quick?
Yes, I'd like just to thank, of course, everybody for coming in
Will you
and
please mute?
giving all that good knowledge. But as well, I'd like to just make a point how important it is for us to give all these youth the opportunity to grow in our communities. We've blacklisted them in a lot of respects, and we've held them back because of their prior offenses, which makes it almost impossible for them to move forward. And if you're going to keep putting roadblocks, blocks in front of blind people, they're not going to be able to walk. We really have to keep overlooking their past and try to look towards their future and understand their future is our future. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Eisman. John Marks, we would love to hear your views on today's discussion.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for inviting me on. We here at Windsor Driving School, we have trained thousands of youths from 18 and up becoming CDL truck drivers. And the only issue we had is because they want to be eager and succeed real fast is maintain them at work for a long period of time. We do this for the last 20 years, and we are focused on helping the many succeed. So we are all behind Mr. Connor's efforts to do this in the future as much as we can, especially in the high demand career of CDL driving, that anybody that has a CDL a license can drive a truck and make up to $85,000 a year, which still would change somebody's lifestyle within 4 weeks, which is what I'm here all about. Thank you very much for the invite.
Thank you, John Marks. And thank you everyone for participating and sharing your perspective. I just came to know that one of our participants actually wants to ask a question to our moderator. So Mr. Willie Saunders, the floor is yours to ask your question.
Thank you for having me here. Thank you, Dr. Connor. Yeah, we just thank God that we are a part of the program. But I just wanted to tell what's unique about the program, the youth program. To sum it up and not take up a lot of time, it says, I care. When you tell a young person that you care, I'm going to be there, I'm going to watch you, I'm going to be there for you. Any problems, I'm going to be looking at you. And that's the person that will change their ways. And some of the programs that we offer, they will definitely join in to be a part of this initiative because it does help them and give them another chance, another way out of the inner city.
No, thank you very much, Mr. Willie, for asking this question. Me being the moderator, I would love one of the panel members to answer that question. And his question is that what this initiative is all unique about, and because most of the time, these members of the initiative, we say that we care. We care for you. We care for the youth. So what does that mean? So Do you think any of the panel member would love to say that? Maybe from Montana? Chuck, you're muted.
Oh,
I do
Yes,
that
Chuck.
often. But one thing I am is really humbled by everybody here. I'm telling you that, and I'm so glad to be connected to you. But sure, you've got to put that youth first. Okay, we're saying that. What that means is put yourself aside. And I like what people are saying here. Listen, and go back to the foundations. And what good is it to do some of the things we do in our life when other things are so important? That's what Dr. Khan is all about. And so, and I'm really glad to see Ariana here, you know, and that she's taking her time. I mean, yeah, sure, she's young and has a long life and a lot of time left. But when I was young, you know, I had to put priorities. She is putting priorities here. Well, if we could have more youth do that, you see, and so she should be, she should be showcased too. You know, I mean, that should be a showcase right there. And so, thank you, everyone, for participating.
Yeah, I just want to add that caring means that we are here to stand with you for you to achieve your dreams. Caring means that we are not going to dictate to you what you need to do. Caring means that we want to share our missteps with you so that you can learn something from it. Caring does not mean that we will prevent you from taking a vaccination when you have to. Caring does not mean that we will keep you in the house when we need you to go out there and find a job. Caring means we will stand by you for you to actualize your life.
Thank you very much, Clem, for adding that wonderful "I care for you," the definition of that. Thank you, Valley.
Mr. Robert Tanko, I saw that you also had a question. Go ahead and ask that now, please.
Yeah, I was basically looking at the panel here, and you know, I appreciate everybody. I'm in a car driving, so excuse that, but like to see how the participation is for business wise, and how that'll affect the youth as we go forward. I look at it that it's a dream for a lot of people, and the counseling can also assist them, which is some of the conversations, but you know, the desire to stay in and the desire to stay focused and moving ahead with what we have as an opportunity.
No, thank you, Robert, for asking that question. So I think your question drives is that what different type of business opportunities can motivate the young adults. So maybe I can switch this question to take 1 minute if Chuck Hughes, who is also a businessman and he's also running the Business Chamber of Commerce, he could kind of answer that question to you, that how different type of business opportunities can benefit these young adults to remain motivated.
Well, Doctor, thanks for the question. You're right. I am a business organization, and we know that if we can't engage people at whatever age with a job, then we're not giving them the start in life that they need. So what I see is that this initiative will address many of the prerogatives, many of the parameters that are necessary in order to prepare a person for a job and to be responsible in that job. So there's a direct correlation between education, behavior, opportunity, everything that's embodied in this Returning Youth Initiative. And so, yeah, the correlations, the parallels are all the same. And so I think it's great. I'm excited, and I'm excited for my community.
No, thank you very much. Robert, I think one other person who could immediately jump in for 1 minute, I have only 1 minute left, to answer your question about these different businesses, because we have Paul Nelson from Tobyhanna, who is having a business background and runs several businesses. So he can highlight a little bit about answering your question, how these businesses can keep these young adults motivated. Paul.
Dr. Khanna, again, I can't say enough. A lot of people give a lot of lip service, but when you came along, you put things in action. One of the things that excited me about this program was talking about young people post-incarcerated. One of the major problems that they have is employment. What Dr. Khanna has done in our church since we've joined the initiative is every week we have a program. We have a workshop, and we teach young, especially young men. A lot of young men come to this program. Some of them are in business. Some of them are trying to do business. Not only does Dr. Khanna teach them about business, how to incorporate, how to legally run your business, how to do your taxes, bring in experts every week, credit, how to build your credit. But also what Dr. Khanna has done with this initiative that impressed me is actually go out there and start businesses. Because you can send a young man to a job. The first time he mess up, they're gonna kick them to the curb. The beautiful thing about the initiative helping to develop businesses, we can bring these young people in, teach them. If they mess up, we can give them another shot. We could tell them what they did wrong this time. For instance, when we met with Mr. Hughes in Indiana, one of the things that Dr. Khanna immediately started was to looking into putting several businesses in Gary, Indiana, which Gary, Indiana right now have a shortage of businesses. How are young people to get employment if there are not enough businesses? So by developing businesses, now they have the hands-on opportunity to learn how to be a good business person or a good employee.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Paul, for highlighting that. I hope that kind of answers Robert's question, and that is also for a lot of youth's questions too. Valley.
What great questions, and thank you to those who answered all of them. Can I please hear from Darshan Khanna? I would like to see his young perspective on today's discussion.
Good afternoon, everyone. Being part of this initiative has really helped me and my friends because we all just currently graduated college, so we are looking for jobs and how to get involved in the community. So this has really gave us an opportunity to give back to the community that we grew up in. So as Bucks County manager, I've had the opportunity to work with Dr. Khanna to further along like the business opportunities in our county, as well as locate somewhere for our safe haven to open up in the next coming months. And I really think this is a great way to reach out to the youth, having a youth ambassador, as well as having some of the youth take up important roles such as a county manager or a manager for a safe haven is a pretty good tactic to get more youth involvement. And I'd also like to thank everyone for being here and also allowing me to be here and to speak too. Thank you.
Thank you. It was really amazing to see such an inspiring group of individuals from all over the country who represent so many amazing things be joined here today. And thank you, Dr. Khanna, for implementing your initiative across the country to give hope to these young adults that they too can still go on to live a happy and successful life. Each person has a talent and a purpose in life, and with the Returning Youth Initiative, their purpose can be recognized and their once sought after dreams can become their reality. But that is, of course, if they allow people like those gathered here today to help them. Thank you all.
Thank you very much.